order. Does anybody have a flag?
Yep.
Will you please rise to salute the flag? Pledge allegiance to the
To
flag.
the flag,
United States of America,
United States of
and
America,
to the republic,
to the republic for which it stands,
stands one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice
and
for all.
justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Do we have any public input? Any public input? Any public input? Hearing none. Correspondence. Do we have any correspondence, Kath? Okay. I need to have a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting, October 13th, 2020.
So moved.
I'll second it.
Motion. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Second. I have to abstain. I was not there. All those in favor signify by saying aye,
Aye.
Aye.
and I'm abstaining. Motion carried. Okay, let's go into old business. Rockwell and Johnson Schools, our favorite subjects. Construction progress and schedule update.
So Ken, take it away.
all right. We can start out with Johnson.
Where is my, yeah, I'm looking. Start up while I try to find my.
Sure. Okay. So from work last period, we had started the stage painting and the panels, acoustical wall panels were finished. The VCT in the health classroom, we finished. The site light pairs and conduit were finished, and that are working on getting the lights going and should have those lights on by tomorrow night. They were out there this afternoon. Okay, here we are. The ensemble room was worked on, and I'll give you the update on the next page. The cafeteria ceiling clouds and wood ceiling were completed. And for the work in progress, the stage painting is ongoing. There was still some electrical work that had to be put in place. So they've been in there painting now. The phenolic panels, the amphitheater concrete sidewalks, had prep and placement. They've done some of the concrete, and they're going to be doing some more tomorrow. A good section of the sidewalk and patio will be completed tomorrow. For the ensemble, the VCT is 95%. They had to get a new Wineberry tile. It's a purple tile. So they did get that. The old purple was discontinued. So they got that approved so that they can finish that room. And the cafeteria, we got the radiant heat support grid installed, and we're painted out 95% in there. And for work that's to be started, we've got the wood floor delivery. He was tentatively scheduled for Thursday, but I think he had sent me an email today discussing that he was going to bring the wood the same time he starts with the wood sleeper system, because he goes that it'll sit a week by the time they get the sleeper system down. So that changed. And the heat panel install, he is coming on Monday for the installation of the heat panels in the cafeteria. So that's where we're at with, I'm pretty sure that the playground people will be coming over to Johnson as well. I know they've got the equipment there. I don't think they started anything today. I guess we can go to Rockwell.
Can we ask questions about Johnson first?
Sure.
Yep.
I just wanted to know if we're still on target for our TCO for the other spaces that we asked to be turned over.
For the cafeteria and the music room and sped room,
Yes.
the,
No, is there a sped room over there?
No, it's just.
oh,
music.
I'm sorry, the ensemble room. I was looking at my Johnson. Right now, we walked through with the engineer today and we're gonna have to put some of the point bracing in the ensemble room. But don't have any reason why the music room and the cafeteria wouldn't be ready in 2 weeks.
So I guess you don't see any, is that a yes or no?
That's a yes.
So Chris Baldwin's gone through, he's done the initial ceiling inspections. You guys have started that process. The furniture has a plan to come over. All that's in motion.
I'm not sure about the furniture.
Well,
Yeah, if the rooms are finished, we'll bring over the furniture.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Ken, what about the restrooms across from the cafeteria? Will they be online?
right.
It'll be close, Bob. They're doing the handicap grab bars on Monday. So I would have to take a closer look at what's left in that room.
Okay. It's just that having kids are that far away from the restrooms would be a problem. If
Yeah,
they were-
they should be done. So I thought they were going to be. I thought everything but the gym. I understand why the ensemble room isn't ready. I understand that that requires additional work, but I thought what we agreed was everything but the gym and now the ensemble room.
Yeah, I'll look. I don't know of anything right now that would stop that. I wanted to at least have a chance to go through it tomorrow, but I would say yes on that.
Okay. Geraldine, is this the appropriate time to bring up the plumbing at Johnson or should I wait?
Well, we're on Johnson subject, so let's.
Yeah, I say go, yeah, this is as good a place as anywhere else. Yeah.
So Bob's going to help me.
No problem.
So is Joe Collada on the line?
Yes, I am.
Okay, so I think, I don't know if the building committee is aware, but we've had several instances at Johnson where essentially the plumbing is backing up. And it's in the same area that we've been talking about since the beginning of the project with regard to, I don't know, Bob, explain what actually happens.
Okay, what you have is the section of the pipe that keeps backing up right now is an existing pipe. And we know that it's been scoped out. We've seen the camera. In fact, I even gave you the CDs of the photos. But for some reason, it's still backing up again. And I go back to my original comment. I think the pitch is off on that. Because if you look at the camera view, and even today, the Arco Rooter had the camera in there, the water doesn't look like it's moving very quickly. Now, I realize there's a blockage that they picked up on the camera, but even with that, the water does, you don't see what you normally see in a mainline septic line. The water just did not seem to flow smoothly. And that kind of goes back to what I was saying. I personally think that the pitch is off on that.
Well, I think it needs to be looked at. As Bob said, when Arco Rooter came out again today, they did notice something in one of the, what Bob was saying, a blockage in the area it's my understanding, Bob, it's in the area where I call it the intersection between the third grade wing,
Yeah, I think it was 32 feet in from the opening of
Right.
by the nurse's room. Yeah.
But we don't have a formal report from them. And they're gonna come back out and try to clear the block. Bob, it's in the next couple of days, right? Or did Ken arrange that?
I'm not sure. I think that's under Ken's control.
I don't think that they had any plan to come back yet. At least I'm not sure that they made one, because when I was there, they did find that something was blocking at that the existing Y in the corridor close to the stair and elevator.
Yes.
It almost looked like part of the fitting or something was apart, and it was definitely, if they were able to take care of that with however they're going to do it, I don't know what they do, if they put a weight down there or something and they try to free that blockage, that would probably do it. Because he said when he had a lot of water in the line today, he thought that, maybe it was a belly in the pipe, but then when he freed up the blockage, he said, he pulled the camera back to show us that there really is about the same amount of water the whole way. So,
Which goes back to what I was saying. That should be flowing out of there.
yeah, but I think you still had that little piece of whatever that was, blockage at that Y. So it was probably, making it so there's still going to be some water in that pipe. But if he gets rid of that little piece, whatever that is, I bet you that'll correct that problem.
So
But
I guess, how do we get an accurate assessment of the problem? And we know we have to clear that blockage, right, Ken? But
Yeah.
maybe this is a Geraldine question. How do we figure it out? Because I can't have sewage backing up in my schools. And today it got pretty bad. It's been isolated to the nurse's office, right, Bob?
Correct. That's the first clean out where it's going to relieve itself right there.
But today it started backing up in the hallway,
Right.
in a drain on the floor.
Well, you think about it now. You're introducing another building into that same pipe that's existing.
Yeah,
It's additional.
Yeah,
It's
that's
additional load.
right.
Is
So-
this original pipe?
Yes. Yes.
We did scope this out prior.
We had multiple conversations about it at the
And
beginning of the
I
project.
remember, and it came out, everything was clear, that blockage at the manhole was the only one we had that
Well,
time.
And I thought Malone and McBrone did an assessment of it, and maybe I'm making it up in my head, but Bob, didn't they come out and they do a whole assessment of it?
Well, they did, and what they did was that's when they recommended scoping it all the way out so you can go out the building, and that's when they found the roots down by the old cafeteria.
Right.
But they did say that in diameter of the pipe has been reduced now, basically because of age. It's lined with debris and crap, which you'd have to scrape it out in order to clean it out. But you're introducing a lot more water now, a lot more restrooms into this existing line that wasn't designed for that. And I personally think with the pitch problem, the additional water flow, now we're starting to get the problem. That has to be aggressively attacked. And somebody like Pembroke Pumping, or maybe even Arco Rooter with a crew that was going down there to do some aggressive, they have the augers, they have it needs to get aggressively cleaned. We can't just, send down a little snake and try to pull back a little bit of whatever the debris is. They have to get down there and get dirty.
So I guess my question is, who can figure out what the problem is and make some recommendations?
So Arca is going to issue a report from this current scoping.
Are they? I don't know.
they didn't last time, so I'm not sure that they're set up to do that.
Okay.
You just had the quick emergency team there. You didn't have the A team.
Okay.
You had a crew that came down just to help clear out and stabilize the problem. But you need somebody like Auto Rooter or Auto Plumbing, or somebody who is equipped to give you an assessment.
I would say, once the blockage is clear, then we should reassess what the situation is. But I don't know if you can fully assess the situation if it's partially or totally blocked.
That may be true, but I guess who sets up do we set it up, Geraldine, in terms of bringing them back out? Because Ken, you're saying they're not coming back out, which is not what go ahead, sorry.
Did Ryan, I wasn't there when they left.
They
So
said
sure,
it-
Ryan,
You mean my Ryan, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
They said that they could not come back for tomorrow for about 2 days, but then they were available. And I'm getting this through Beth Greco, who's our assistant principal, because Allison was out today. So I think somebody needs to make arrangements with them to come back out to finish the job, to Joe's point, to get rid of that blockage, to see what happens and then make it. And then maybe we get a more accurate assessment of it. But it's got,
Why don't we do this? We can reach out a follow-up with Arca Rooter and mention, as they're saying, as Bob is saying, look, is there another level of clearing that you can do here? The problem's going to be if that obstruction is a piece of the pipe, we're not solving any problems by destroying it. But at least we can find out if Arca Rooter has the capabilities. They know what's down there now. We don't need them to come back every 2 days to snake it. That doesn't make any sense. But if we can get from them, if they've got the capabilities to remove that blockage now that they've seen it, I think that's a simple conversation we can have with them tomorrow. And at least we can let Geraldine know we may need to try to find some other subcontractor to bring in to look at that, but at least get an answer for you as to what Arca Rooter's capabilities are.
Hey, Jim, this is Bob. Can you, when you talk with them, can you ask if there's some way they can measure pitch? Is there some type of
Sure. Yeah.
flow
Yeah.
calculation they can do?
Yeah, I think we'll ask the question. You would think there would be, but, you know,
All right.
if you're seeing water standing in there, that would concern me, so.
The other, I just had one comment and maybe to Joe. Hey, Joe, is there a chance you can just check with the engineers just to make sure that we're not putting too much flow down that pipe?
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'd also like to investigate that side also.
And then, Dr. Carver, ultimately, it would be to open that floor up and repair that section of the line.
okay. Ugh.
That doesn't answer Bob's question as to whether or not you've got a pitch issue or there's too much water in there, but that's how you would take care of that. Fortunately, at least it's in the porcelain tile area. It's not in an area where there's terrazzo.
Right.
Is that a 4-inch waistline? Do we know? Do we know what the size of the waistline is?
I don't know.
I'm not sure. It probably,
Um,
back in the 60s, it probably started off as 4-inch,
Oh, yeah.
but I don't know what it is now.
Well, no, that school was built in the 80s.
I know, I'm only kidding.
80s was a great
It
generation.
says 4-inch on the as-built. It is a 4-inch.
Okay.
Sections of it are 5-inch. So
Okay. Because I've used multiple companies. So we had a problem with a grease buildup in one of my lines. When they came in, they wanted to jet it. Another company came in and said, no, they went in with a router and they actually cleared the line out as they jetted it. And it's been 6 years and haven't had a problem since. But
Yeah, see, that's the aggressive cleaning I was talking about. But what Jim was saying, if that is a bad fitting,
then you're
that type of aggressiveness will destroy that fitting.
Exactly. So that's what you have to find out.
Yeah, so it looks like that the corridor that the nurse's office is on is a 4-inch line. And then it transitions to a 6-inch going down the main corridor.
That's
Well, and to be clear, that particular area has always been problematic, right? Bob and I talked about that when we were for the design phase. So it's not a new problem that this has happened.
Well, then Bob might be right. It could be a pitch problem.
That's what I think it is. I
That's
really
what
do.
it sounded like, because if it keeps clogging up, it's just not, has the force to force it out.
Correct. Correct.
Somebody mentioned to me, maybe it was Jim, some kind of pump that makes it, am I making this up in my head?
I think that was that discussion you and I had
Oh,
about a
okay.
sewer injection pump.
That's it.
Ejector pumps. Yeah.
But anyway,
That pushes it up the hill.
so Ken and Jim, you're gonna get Arco Rooter out to do that second thing by the end of the week?
What we'll do is tomorrow morning, we'll have a conversation with them based on what they know of this obstruction, what their capabilities are. And then we'll reach out to Gerald and let her know that answer, if they have the ability to do it. And I'm just concerned that if we're gonna be destroying a section of the pipe as opposed to an actual obstruction, so
Yeah.
we need to get Arco Rooter to say, this is what we're capable of based on what we see there.
Okay.
Maybe he could approach it from the other direction too.
Yeah, I don't know if he has, Bob. That's a good point. There's got to be
Yeah.
a clean out down by the gang bathroom down there, so.
Yeah, but also keep in mind too, opening that up is gonna be, there's a stink factor. You have to keep that in mind.
Well, and and so it's probably, and it's, I'm sure it's from a public health perspective, it's not something you can do while school's in session. So we have to think of that also. But I guess I would just, to make everybody feel guilty and really get on it, it's my nurse's office, which is extremely important right now. And so I can't keep having this. I mean, I don't know, Bob, how many times it's happened. It's been at least 4 or 5 times.
I think 3 that I know of.
Right.
It may have been 1 more during the summer.
Good.
Hey, Ken.
Mhm.
Was the portion of the pipe at the cafeteria replaced? I think it was a 10-foot section that was
Yeah,
indicated
it's
on.
about that, Joe, where they tied in, something else was tying into there, yes.
Yeah, okay.
Any more discussion on Johnson at this time?
Oh, Dr. Carver, did you want to ask about the use of that backfield? The question you asked me today?
Yeah, I'm sorry. This is, I could ask at the trailer meeting, but I was just curious, the back area where the grass is growing beautifully between the sidewalks, behind the new addition?
Mhm.
Is that an area, if we put some like of that orange fence up, that we could use for like recess and play area?
Yeah, we have no problem with that.
I mean, the grass seems like it's grown in enough that it could take kids running around on it.
Is the soil soggy there, though?
I don't know. That's a good question.
But
But
you'll definitely need an orange fence to separate the road from the grass, because you're going to have truck traffic there.
So
You want to make sure that soil's not, even with the grass growing, if it's too soggy, you're just going to do damage to it. So you got to really look at.
no, and that's why I'm asking. So we'll check. I just was curious about that.
I have a couple quick questions. It was brought up, and actually it happened while I was there. The outdoor speakers at the backside of Johnson, Bob, you weren't kidding. Those things are loud. Did that
Yeah.
get?
Yeah, that got engineered out.
Yep,
Okay.
it's good.
That's been fixed.
And then have we done anything with the light poles with the leveling washers at Johnson yet?
They've been notified and they are going to do that. They just haven't got to it yet.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right, nothing else. We'll move on to Rockwell.
Okay, for Rockwell, since the last report, the basketball court was paved and the duct in the gym was completed. And the other items are ongoing. The work in progress. There's still some site work going on at the playground area. They've done some concrete work in this curbs, and that's pretty close to completion right now. Just have to move the dumpster out of the way and the Conex box there, and that get completed. We still have to do the slope and finish grade and seed for that slope in the back. The edge metal is ongoing. I need to find out, Joe, if that sample they did was okay.
The sample of what?
The edge molding of the fascia for the roofing.
Yeah. I'll send you an email on that.
Okay, thank you. And so for the cafeteria drywall for the soffit was, they're doing the taping and getting that ready for painting. And the ceiling tiles will be going in. I put it down here at 5 because they were either going to start that this today or tomorrow. They are waiting on a ceiling inspection. I'm not sure if we got that today. And the gym paint is going in there so that he can get that painted and so we can do all the acoustical panels and get ready to complete the gym. So the bus canopy was expected to start this week. I'm not looking good at getting QSR there this week, so we're trying everything we can to get them there for Monday. So the cafeteria, we've got BCT scheduled for the first week of November. Heat panels, those aren't going to take that long, and the acoustical panels won't take that long. So we may be shuffling and having somebody work at nighttime. So that's why a couple of those items are scheduled at the same time, but we had to get going in that area. And we're looking at leveling the gym next week. Well, the following week, the 9th of November. Probably a few other minor items that they're working on, like the framing at the loading docks for most schools. I think that's primarily it. They're working on they just started changing out the supports on the Rockwell roof so that they can finish that up and start the installation of that, the ductwork.
So, Ken, on that, I just had a discussion and I just want to bring Joe Collada into that, kind of go into the PCOs 80, 85 and 86 as far as the work. I'm just still trying to understand who's going to be responsible for these.
Well, we submitted the proposals for the extra work because we feel that in order for you to have a roof that doesn't leak down the road, that you were going to need to change out the supports that were installed for the contract documents.
Right. Well, I know, but I'm still trying to understand based upon what Perkins is saying is that, none of it was done to the specs. So, then I would have liked to have seen it done to specs to start with. Well, that's where I think there's some discussion. I don't know. From what hey, Joe, are you there?
Yep.
Am I missing something or what?
So Ken, I was looking through the documents relating to these PCOs, and for I forget which one is which. 86 is the one to do the.
This is the one that they're doing, yeah.
Right. So you have told us, and Jim has told us, that the roofer only brought the roofing up to the sides of the curbs for the duct supports, which does not follow the contract documents. The contract documents show the roofing going over the top of the blocking in the mechanical duct support detail. subsequent to that, the roofer has submitted their submittal, which indicates to us how they're going to comply with the contract documents, which that submittal shows roofing going over the top of the blocking completely, which also was indicated that it wasn't done. Then in the general conditions for the mechanical work, any penetration through a waterproofing element needs to be sealed. And in this case of the roof curb support, that waterproofing element is the flashing. So when the bolts go through the flashing, those bolts are required to be sealed per the specifications. And that's how we feel that based on what we've been told, how it was installed, we haven't seen pictures or anything of how it was installed. And all you can see,
You've been up there with DTC, so I'm not sure why you even need pictures.
well, because I haven't seen how the roofing was installed underneath the flashing, because that hasn't been exposed to us. And also, in addition to all that, the flashing cap, the corners are not welded. That's also per the documents. So all those elements combined would need to be completed in order for that to be done per the contract documents.
And
So-
basically, Roy, what we're saying is the duct support was supplied per the contract detail. Joe's referencing a submittal from the roofer shows a standard curb flashing detail that those two should have been put together. And I'm not telling you he's wrong, he's right. That's how we got to where we are.
Right. So, Jim, I agree that the duct support matches the detail. But since the penetrations through the top of the cap, any element of the waterproofing membrane and waterproofing system has to be sealed if it's penetrated. And that has not been done.
And I understand that's what you want. The difference here is that's not what was shown. So that's why we're getting to the point of what needs to be done.
Well, it was called for in the
I'll give him the-
specifications, and that's part of the contract documents. So it might not have been shown in the detail, but it was called for in the spec. And that would be by Action Air, not by the roofer.
And obviously, we got to move it forward and get this done, but I'm just concerned as far as, if the spec wasn't followed, then, I don't think it should be our responsibility.
And Roy, the only thing I can tell you is I'm not gonna argue with Joe. I understand where he's coming from. I understand what he wants it to be. At the end of the day, we're proceeding under protest and, we
Yeah.
this is a justifiable change.
Yeah, I'm not arguing with you, Jim, okay?
I understand.
I can see the position both ways, but, I think there's gonna be, some further discussion on that.
Understood. The important thing to us is to get it done properly, so this isn't.
Uh, Absolutely. 100% agreed.
Agreed here too.
So Ken and Jim, you guys are gonna follow up with that, like soon?
Well, when you say follow up, we're doing the work now.
Okay,
We've submitted the proposal. We've stated what our position is on it. We're proceeding under protest on it because we think it is something that should be reimbursed because it's not detailed on the contract documents. So, if you're looking for some more information, we can certainly, get that to you, but I'm not sure at this point what else we would get to you.
Okay,
We're tracking the time on T&M. We're trying to control all possible costs, whoever's paying for it, because obviously that behooves everybody.
yep. Okay, that's good.
Hey, Ken, I got two questions.
Mhm.
The first one, did the nurses' room key cores ever come in?
No, and I emailed him again just the other day, asking him where they were. Because I also had some exterior cores that I need for Rockwell. So I have asked Paul again.
Okay. And the second question, when you guys are in the gym at Rockwell, Is it possible we could take that climbing rope down off the beams while the lifts and the scaffolding's in there?
Yeah. Is that something you want salvaged?
No, no, no.
Okay. Well, I wasn't sure if you had planned for it somewhere else. Okay,
No, no, it's all dry rotted. It has to go.
okay.
That's all I have.
John, just one other question. I don't know if Matt's out. I had emailed him today for an update on the punch list and the progress on the punch list.
He did get the email and we were going through it today so that it could be updated to the day.
Okay,
I said that it probably would be okay if he sent it to you in the morning.
that's fine.
Okay.
Hey, I have a question also, and I wasn't on the last meeting, so I don't know if it was discussed. In the kindergarten room at Rockwell with the steel beam, has that been installed and boxed in?
It's starting on this weekend, Saturday, and we're probably going in after school on Friday just to take the ceiling apart so that we can get at it.
Okay,
Install it on Saturday and probably have the inspector look at it Monday. There'll be ceiling grid missing Monday for school, but we would have the ceiling back together on Tuesday, which is the day off. So that was the plan right now, and hopefully that's okay for that room.
Yeah, I told the kindergarten teachers and they were fine with it.
Okay.
The guy wanted to start at noon on Friday. I told him no, the children are still there. But the other question I have is, has the insulation been scheduled or did I miss that?
No, it's I think it's one of the PCOs tonight, and I did have to get some more backup, which I did get late today. That I'll be giving to Geraldine, but no, it has not been started yet.
Okay.
Ken, what about the cleanup? If your guys going to be working Friday night, what about the cleanup for come Monday morning?
We'll make sure that it's cleaned.
They're working all weekend, Bob, through Sunday.
Right, I know, but you know, come Monday morning, I don't, you know, you're going to have some surprises there. That's
No,
all
we're
I'm trying to say.
No, we're not. They're going to be tidy and clean.
Okay.
hey, I just have another thing on Rockwell. Last week, Rich Straighten, myself, and Terry Yansky, Dan from Malone McBroom, and their traffic engineer went out and looked at the back of the bus loop as it exits behind Rockwell. And Terry arranged to get a couple of buses to come in and out because the buses seem to be, when they leave there, they'll end up going over the yellow line too far. And so what they're looking to do, and I don't know if anybody's approached you guys, Rizzo or Geraldine, about this, from that last catch basin, which would be on the right side going out, is taking the curve off and putting some gravel in there, and then have the buses do that again, and then kind of spray paint out, because it's gonna need to be widened for anywhere between 2 to 4 feet. Because we're gonna have a problem with the buses leaving that school. On the left side is not a problem, or going in, it's just when they leave there, that might be too much of a, not enough of an angle on that. But from that last catch basin to the road, it's probably gonna have to get widened out on a gradual. Terry, you wanna add anything to that?
Oh, I think Joe Colada, did Malone and McBroom get back with you about that?
No, Dan told me that they were working on a revised sketch.
Okay.
I just checked in with him, emailed him tonight to see where that was. So hopefully
Okay.
he'll get that out to me.
It didn't sound like it was a major event, so he should be able to get you that pretty quickly.
Yeah, it sounded like it was actually going to be less work than the original sketch. He said it was going to be
Good.
simplified.
That's what he indicated to us too. He said it's,
Yeah.
you know, and again, his traffic engineer, they took a lot of pictures with the buses coming in and out. And, you know, everybody kind of feels if that gets moved over on a gradual angle, will be maybe 4 feet at the possible widest,
Okay.
maybe even less than that. So. and
They
to have
filmed-
the final paving,
They
that-
filmed the buses going in and out, and they were going to use that in their modeling program
Yeah.
when they got back to the office. So I think they had what they needed. And they didn't make it sound like it was going to be a very big deal at all.
Hey, John, can I ask you a question? You said gravel. Where's the gravel going?
They're looking to put it there just temporarily and
Oh,
then have
okay.
the buses, and then where the wheel line would be, the one if I could put a spray paint mark, so they know exactly how far. It's just
Okay.
like a model, that's all it's gonna be.
Yeah, because I know if we had to ever plow it, that
Oh, no,
gravel's
no,
going
they-
away.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, the state
It's only
doesn't
a
like gravel.
temporary, it's a temporary thing just to market.
Right.
Seeing how the final coat of pavement isn't at the end yet, you know, it'd be easy to put a small binder coat on that and then pave the whole thing at one shot.
Gotcha.
Just a
Yeah.
couple of things to keep in mind, that catch basin there probably has a curb on it.
Yeah.
But I don't know about, you know, that covers an curb piece to it. So I don't know about the gravel. I'm sure they looked at that.
Yeah, and from the catch basin back, it's basically, the catch basin, it doesn't start getting bad until you get about 2.5, 3 feet away from the catch basin where it starts to, we have to make that really change. But cutting it back to the catch basin and angling it off from there would be the easiest way.
Okay.
I'm sure they'll be able to get
Yeah.
back to us with that shortly.
Can we go back to the roof again? Because I didn't understand how we concluded. So is the work happening or is the
Yes.
work not happening?
No, the work is happening.
So everything to correct the roof is being done.
Correct.
And then what remains is to discuss payment and paperwork.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So you're staying with the original curb design? Is that correct?
We're talking about the roof, Joe?
Yes, sorry. Oh,
No,
yes,
it's-
sorry.
No.
A roof
it's
curb.
No, it's the independent supports, Joe.
Okay.
Any more on Rockwell from any questions at this point, construction questions?
Joe Colada, is that something you need to see? I mean, before it gets completed? Or is there any,
No, I don't think so, but we
It's
don't,
the same installation, Joe, you have at Johnson,
right,
the low roof of Rockwell.
right. We're just not recommending that they need to go in that direction.
okay.
This is a stupid question, but it's the dates on the completion chart. Is the VCT flooring in the cafeteria, am I reading this right? It's the 13th is complete? But how can you turn it over to me if it's the 13th?
Well, you're talking at Rockwell, right?
Right,
You're probably a week behind at Rockwell than you are at Johnson.
but we've been talking for 3-4 weeks about what the date that I needed this by. I don't understand. Geraldine, am I wrong? Have we talked about in this trailer meetings week after week after week?
We did, but the date for Rockwell was later, was the 9th.
But
I'm
it's
actually
like-
trying to find it in my notes.
But it says the 13th. And that was when I got the TCO. I cannot impress upon you people. I need the spaces. It is getting cold outside.
Yep.
I have,
Well, there's snow on Friday.
I know. I mean, I don't understand. I've been talking about this for a month. I was told I would get the CAF, this maybe not the special ed room, the music room, the bathrooms, and the faculty dining area and the area next to it. But the only thing I might not get was the sped room. You got to move it up.
Is it possible we can expedite that?
Yeah, we'll take a look at the cafeteria tomorrow, Dr. Carver, see what we got to do with it.
I need both of those areas that you said that you were going to give me. And I can't have it a week late.
Dr. Carver, anything else?
No, what's that?
No other questions on Rockwell? Then we can move on to the FFE Technology and Playground update.
Yep, so FF&E, when we know that the rooms are going to be ready, the next phase of rooms turned over, we'll have that furniture ready to be installed. Some of it's already at the middle school, so we're pretty confident we can get that all moved in. Furniture punch list for the spaces already occupied are ongoing, and there are a number of vendors that are going to be in on November 3rd to resolve some furniture damage issues and things that need to be corrected on furniture, additional items that need to be installed. So after Election Day, we should be fine with the occupied spaces. So that's FF&E. On technology, again, punch list work in the occupied spaces for the audiovisual systems is ongoing, but I think it's almost finally resolved. I think there are 2 visual display boards remaining at Johnson that are missing a part that still hasn't come in, but as far as I know, everything's working there, and we'll entertain a change order request from IT to add some components to the audiovisual system in a minute when we get to proposed change orders. The security system is still not online. There are panel components, LAN cards still missing to connect it to the network, but we're working through that with D'Agostino. I think all of the devices are installed at both schools, lockdown and panic buttons that just need to be tested, and D'Agostino is working through that, I think, with those vendors. Surveillance cameras are just coming online as they're installed. I don't have an update on whether Bob has access to the surveillance monitoring yet. I know that there's all of the exterior cameras, I think, are going to be brought online with the gym and the cafeteria and those areas. So that still needs to be done. Same thing with wireless access points. The exterior wireless access points that were approved by the building committee a little while ago are in receipt, and they're going to be installed at the end of this week. So hopefully all the new areas of both schools, exterior and the areas still under construction, will have wireless access by next week. That's all what I have on technology. And as we heard, playground installation started this week. The playground vendor obviously has to start with pouring of the foundations. So there may be equipment on site, but they haven't yet progressed to the point where they can start adding the equipment. They're still working on foundations and site work.
Do we have a projected timeline on that? A week or 2 or?
Playgrounds should be the end of next week.
Okay. Questions from anyone? Going once? Going
Where
twice?
are the controls, Geraldine, for the HVAC?
So that's base building. I don't know if Ken or Jim has an update on that. As far as I know, that they are not in a state that can be turned over to the schools for control. Ken or Jim, do you know if we're any closer to having that happen?
Yeah, so Action Air on Thursday is working on the carrier boards in the FCUs, and they can do it electronically in the electrical rooms, but they're going to be doing that starting Thursday, and it's going to take them approximately 1 to 2 weeks so that they can get those corrected. And That's where they're at with the chiller carrier controls.
So where are we gonna be as far as for heating that, what's available? I know you have all the ventilation going, but.
I don't think we have a heating issue. I think the heating
Okay,
on before the 15th of October, and I don't think we've had a heating issue.
No, I guess what I've said repeatedly, and Bob would probably agree with me, is that we do have a heat issue that we can't control it.
all right.
And we've had several instances. Now it's cold now, so I'm not as, I guess maybe I should be, but I'm not as concerned. But we were having lots of issues last week when we had days in the 70s, and we just had constant problems. So I guess I don't understand, when's the end of this? Because it feels like it's taking a long time, or is this normal?
This is actually they found the bugs, if you will, and that's what they're working out right now. And that's why they're going into all the control panels, every FCU in every room. They're doing it remotely from a room within the school.
Right.
But they did find out what they needed to correct so that this won't, be a reoccurring problem.
Is that at both schools or just Johnson?
They do need to go to the second floor of Rockwell and check that as well.
Do we know what the issue was with the digital input or something that coming out?
Yeah, he just said it was a parameter change, and
Okay.
he didn't get into the other details.
So it's
Bob.
parameters, that's fine. Because it's
Yes.
supposed to be in the 30s by Friday, so I just want to make sure that.
So the heat works. I mean, the systems work and the chillers came online. It's just about who has control of the equipment and where the control is. It's not currently controllable in an integrated sense through the BMS.
Gotcha.
But the systems, the individual components work, the systems work. It's just that any adjustments that need to be made to it have to be made, currently by Action Air through Rizzo. So.
Or let it run automatically like it's designed to
Or
do.
set it and forget it, whatever, yeah. But to go back to Christine's question, so we're looking at 2 weeks, we think, before the system will be able to be turned over to the schools for their control?
I can verify that, but it should be correct because I asked them about the balancing, and they did the water balancing, which is what Rick needs, to start his preliminary commissioning. So I'm expecting those reports. I think that he said that he may have received some already. So as soon as I get those over to Rick, he'll be able to see what we have, and he can get that going at least.
And I think, Bob, to answer your question, with this carrier issue resolved, I think it will function as it should in automatic. What was happening is because the programming wasn't working properly with the carrier board, when it was calling for cooling, it wasn't giving it cooling.
Oh, okay.
That's what
I kind of
this-
figured that.
Yeah, that's what this,
It wasn't answering the need of the building. And that's what I was seeing online.
right.
But once Rick does his commissioning, the expectation after that is it should be running automatically. And all I need to do is monitor its operations, not tweak it, but just monitor it. It should be already, the parameters should be set. It should be running on its own.
Correct.
That's what we paid for, I hope. Anything else? Okay, let's go on to budget review.
Budget review, we'll take a quick look at the tracking budgets for each school, just to show where we are in terms of completion of the project. At Johnson, the total project is billed out at about 83%, which I think is correct for where we are in progress, and construction itself is billed out to about 89%. We'll look at the contingencies in a minute when we look at the cash flow projections. Rockwell's a little bit ahead of that, 87% on a total project basis and 89% again on construction completion invoicing to date. So again, both accurate. As we looked at last week, a combined cash flow projection of where we'll be at the end of the project, because we are now running as you'll see down at the very bottom, the light blue line, currently based on all the invoices approved prior to tonight and construction requisitions approved and PCOs approved prior to tonight. The owner contingency at Rockwell is in the negative, about $27,000. But the owner's contingency remaining at Johnson School is over 1.9 million for a combined owner contingency remaining of 1.9 million, 23,000 and some hundreds. And what you'll see on this tabulation tonight is we've obviously adjusted or upped the current overall budget numbers based on invoices and PCOs previously approved. And what we're looking at tonight, or from tonight going forward, is a potential liability at Rockwell of 331,000 in potential invoices, 325 in potential invoices in Johnson, or potential change orders, for a total between both projects of $657,000 of potential change orders left to be approved. Now, this is, again, this accounts for everything that we have submitted to us, not everything that we believe will be approved or that should be approved or that we're recommending would be approved. But it's a conservative tabulation to show you what happens if everything that's currently on the table is approved. And again, we have a section of PCOs that are still expected to be presented for each school, totaling 126,000 across the projects. We've got the outstanding additional fee requests from Perkins Eastman that the committee is still contemplating. And then a handful of areas in the budget that we think have some excess capacity in their line items because we won't bill out the total that was previously budgeted. So short story, where we are today is the projected owner contingency at completion is still in the positive of $975,000 should all of the potential change orders and invoices going forward be approved. So we're still, as a combined project, still in the positive here and would have $975,000 remaining at the end. Any budget questions at this point before we go into approving more money to spend?
Questions, anyone? Comments?
Okay.
Let's go into the change orders, our favorite thing.
All right. Potential proposed change orders at Johnson School. We are looking at 2 proposed change orders tonight. First one is number 89. This is for the spray foam insulation that needs to be replaced at the steel beams perimeter of both floors. Perimeter of both floors at Johnson. The total of this change order is $85,479.24. This is what Ken was referring to earlier. We have the change order in hand. It was circulated to all the commission members and posted on a shared drive. I had asked Rizzo to come back with more detail to break down the labor and the material costs, because both we would like to see it to verify the time and materials going into the project, and the state definitely needs to see it. But the proposals were submitted sort of on a lump sum basis. Let me go back and grab that one. So this is the cover sheet for that change order. You can see that the breakdown is that $68,000 of it is going for the spray insulation and the intumescent covering coating that needs to be applied to the insulation in order to keep the flammability down. There's $11,409 from Enviro Consultants and Recyclers in demolition, and I presume cleanup costs there. $2,000 for Ferguson to provide the temporary electrical connections necessary for the equipment used to spray in the installation. And that's how we get to $85,479.24.
And this is just,
And the
for
plan
Rockwell?
actually,
Questions on this?
I'm sorry,
This is just Rockwell, correct?
this is just Johnson.
Oh,
Johnson.
Johnson, okay, sorry. Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, and so there is another separate number, slightly lower for Rockwell.
Let's do this. I'm gonna make a motion so we can discuss it.
Yeah, I'll make that motion, John,
Okay.
to proceed forward with that, with the
Change order
spray
number
foam.
89 for amount of $85,479.24.
Correct.
I'll second that. Any questions? Hearing none? All in
I'd just like
favor?
to point out one more thing about the change order. As you'll see there, that it is, that they have excluded areas above hard ceiling rooms, which is primarily restrooms, because they can't get up above those rooms right now.
So-
I think that, there are, obviously, we need the insulation in those areas, in those lengths of wall as well. And Rizzo is still working on a plan for how to access those above ceiling areas. So this is not a complete, there will be an additional PCO at some point once they figure out how they're going to get above the chipboard ceiling areas.
Do we know what
Okay.
linear footage we're looking at and what the cost could possibly be by any chance?
Ken?
Oh, we don't have those costs yet, but it's a matter of, we need probably 2.5 to 3 foot holes on 2 in each bathroom, close to the wall. And if it's just as easy to install back insulation, we can do that, because they're only 10 feet wide or so.
Okay,
If you spray, you got to be relatively close.
so would we think about putting in possibly access doors instead, or would that be ugly looking, Bob? What do you think?
Yeah, probably an access door.
Okay.
Yeah, the other thing is some of that Chicago grid that's already installed, we may not be able to cut it,
I know.
we can't, we just have to header it all off and see.
Yeah.
We got to get up there and see what we have.
Gerald, I have a
agree
question.
with you. I agree with you, Ken, that we probably just do that with bats.
Guys, we need to really discuss this. We should have approve the motion discussion.
Yep.
I have a question about the document. You have $2,000 for Ferguson to hook up the temporary connection. Is there a charge for the disconnecting of that temporary? Is that for everything set up and tear down?
Wasn't including the taking it apart, so yeah, I'll have to look at doing that.
Well,
I sure assumed it was.
they're great for the surprise change orders.
Yeah, I know. We've had that before.
Yeah.
I can verify that tomorrow.
Yeah, just if you could, it's just a.
Yeah.
Do you have Rizzo's, Ferguson's paperwork on that?
I saw it's, oh yeah, power 220 volt single phase 100 amp.
Yeah, it's basically a temporary service for the,
Right.
for that equipment. It's probably going to be on a stanchion sitting in the hallway.
Yep.
How do you want to proceed with this, folks?
I think we'll bring it to a vote. And, you know,
So there's been a motion made second to accept change order number 89 from Johnson School for the spray foam installation above the ceilings. Is there any more discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
uh,
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
that'll also be based upon the fact that there's not gonna be any additional fees. We're assuming that temporary power is installed and removed.
Right.
Okay, the other change order for Johnson School is number 90. This was presented to us to present to you. It's additional twice a week cleaning under the COVID guidelines for the month of October in the amount of $3,780. This is not something that we're recommending. We did authorize Rizzo to do one cleaning after the COVID case was, the COVID exposure was discovered at Johnson School beginning of the month. There was some concern by the contractors once they got wind of the fact that there was a student that had tested positive just on the fly that day to make sure that contractors kept working and were reassured that the construction side space was clean. We did authorize one cleaning, and then we're presented with this change order for twice a week additional cleanings for the entire month.
It goes through November. It does go through November.
Yeah, I think the question is, well, that's the change order. And I guess the question is whether continuing the twice a week cleaning in the construction areas is a necessary expenditure.
Anybody have any thoughts on that?
I just have a question as far as from the estimate that I have, though, Ken, it shows it through the month of October. Is this going to be an additional one, 3,700 for November?
No, I think, I don't have the proposal in front of me, but I remember it being for October and November.
I don't think that's what you presented to us.
Is it, do you have their original
Let's
there?
see.
Yeah. The one I'm showing just goes through the month of October twice
They're
weekly.
just saying for the month of October.
Is
Yeah.
KP's back up there? Because that maybe KP's backup's not there. I'll check. I'll
Yeah, it is here, but I'm having trouble bringing it up.
okay.
Can we hold off on this then at this time if we get more information?
There we go.
How many people we have working in the schools at this point in time, at any given time?
22, 28, roughly.
They're pretty much scattered throughout areas, or are they in a small?
Yeah, it might. Yeah, it's a little more.
You're down to smaller spaces now,
Yeah,
so it's
yeah.
tight. Dr. Carver and I had a conversation about this. A lot of this is if we don't surprise people with this information about COVID cases, it goes a lot smoother. The cleaning became necessary because when they find out through other ways, through newspapers or hearsay, it creates a problem with us as far as being able to man the job and push them along. I think at this point, with the information coming out from the school, we give it to the contractors. We had one case this week. We didn't get any feedback or negative or complaints or anything of that. And we constantly remind the contractors at the job meeting in writing, they've got to have their masks, they've got a social distance, all these things that technically their people don't do, but we police or remind them of. So really the cleaning going forward, it was more of a response to show we took action and that we were being proactive. At this point, if we want to, phase that out or not have that going forward, we can certainly do that. As long as we're getting good information and we haven't gotten any negative feedback from them.
And Jim, I don't think I have a problem with it. If it was going to go through November, I don't think I would have a problem. It's just probably more of a concern of doubling up through the months.
Sure. I mean, twice
I
a
think
week,
that's a
I would
proactive
for
way to do
3,600,
it.
it wouldn't surprise me for a month. So we'll have to take a look at that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the cover page.
How do you want to make a motion, Roy, or do you want to table it?
I prefer to table it till, I'd make a motion to 3,700 if it included through November. But, I don't know if that's not what it's saying on the proposed change order.
So we should table this then.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, let's table it to the next meeting. Thank you, John.
Hey, John, just
Yeah.
keep in mind, this is a small company too.
Right.
All right, that was it for Johnson. So we'll look at the change order log for Rockwell.
Geraldine, if we could, I'm sorry, Roy, last time we met, you were asking about Ferguson and their conduit change. Gerald and I had some
Sure.
conversations. I've had some conversations with Ferguson. We did track their manpower at Johnson. We had tickets on that work that they did, and when we total those tickets up, there was somewhere in the neighborhood of $90,000, but then that wouldn't include a credit for the contract work that they owed in the first place. So went and had that conversation with Ferguson late today. I got something in writing from them that, they'd bring their number at Johnson down to 99,000. Again, not answering the two questions was, look, we tracked the work to where is the credit for any sort of contract work there. So what I'd like to do is go back to them with that's the response. When you can answer those questions, then we can continue to talk.
I think that's a good approach, Jim.
Yeah.
So just to recap that, we're down from the original proposal was 125,000, and you think that we're at 99,000 now and perhaps negotiating a little bit better on that.
I think so, Geraldine, yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, at Rockwell, we don't have the tickets only because that work was more piecemeal. But, I would kind of group them together at this point and see what we can get out of them.
Yeah, I agree with you, Jim. Yeah, and I think you guys are going to have the best idea as far as what the timing is going to be.
Yeah.
Well, and the charges at Rockwell were significantly less. So if they can.
Yes, I
if they
believe,
do
John, it
a
was about,
percentage.
right. I believe they were at 23 or 4, what they initially submitted. And in his email today, and I'll share it with you, Gerald, and they were down to 19. So.
But that's good.
Yeah, they
Same
were at
logic for me.
23.7. So proportionally, yeah, okay. Makes sense.
Okay, good. Sounds like you're moving along on it.
Okay. What do we got for Rockwell?
All right. Yeah, so at Rockwell, we have a number of items. I got this back here. So we talked earlier about the roof duct supports. I'm assuming that one will remain to be tabled and discussed at a future meeting. Work is proceeding on the duct supports, and we're just still negotiating the amounts.
Yeah.
Order 88 at Rockwell is for the spray foam installation, similar to Johnson. So the amount of this change order at Rockwell is $76,131.99. Again, we're looking for more labor and materials breakdown, but again, this work needs to go on. We can look at the change order itself. 88. Here we go. Again, here the base cost from McKenzie is 59,000 with little over 8,500 for ceiling demolition and cleanup work. Another $2,000 from Ferguson for the temporary power. And the total of this change order number 88 is $76,131.99.
I'm gonna make a motion that we proceed with that to 76,131.99 to get this spray foam done.
Do we have a second? Gil, you second it? Gil seconded it. Is there any discussion? Any other discussion? All in favor, signal by aye or raise your hand.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
All right, at Rockwell, we also have a couple of additional security PCOs. The first one is number 89. This is labor and materials to add a keypad for disarming or arming the intrusion detection system at the loading dock. Currently, the only panel or the only disarming is at the main entrance vestibule. But it makes sense to provide a secondary location at the loading dock, since that's where school personnel would be coming in first thing in the morning and leaving last thing at night. And I'm presuming this was reviewed and requested, Bob, by you and your staff.
Yeah, but can I ask a question, please?
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
There was one there prior to. Why is this an extra? There was one there in the beginning of the job. And now we're putting one in. That's what I was trying to explain before. There was there prior. There was a keypad for entry on the loading dock. So this isn't an extra one.
Well,
Right, so I'm going to defer to Joe. Joe, I'm gonna guess that it was not shown on the drawings.
I would guess the same if it was added by sketch. I'm trying to get the documents open to look at. And I didn't get a chance to comment on this one, and then I think the next one to you, that D'Agostino felt that the cost of both of these change orders were absurdly high. Hold on, getting there.
Yeah, that loading dock entrance was the area where the custodians came in, and that's where we disarm it for deliveries, things of that nature. And then we had one at the front door too, as well.
Yeah, I'm only seeing a card reader on the outside.
That's the new building.
This is for Rockwell, correct?
Correct. But the point I'm trying to make is they took one out. You should be putting one back. It's no difference in the front door.
Right, I'd have to review it with D'Agostino.
And we need to table this one too then. I mean, it's not a lot of money, but still, it's $5,000, it's $5,000.
Exactly, because that money's gonna have to go somewhere in the end.
So let's table this one.
Okay, I'm gonna guess it's a similar situation here with this, with the door contact on the boiler room exterior door.
No, that door didn't exist.
So- Yep, so PCO 90 is to add, intrusion devices at the boiler room door.
Was that already
Again.
installed?
I'm
I
sorry,
don't
what'd you say?
think so.
I
That,
asked if
that, that door in the boiler room didn't exist before.
Right, I was asking if it already was installed, the contact.
I'm not sure.
No, it's not.
No.
Is this something that you need, Bob Geminaro?
What is this, the intrude? Yeah, for the boiler room, definitely.
Okay. Now I'll make a motion that we approve.
Well,
Change
we
order
also-
number 90 for $4,972.20.
That's,
A second,
I'll second it.
second. Discussion?
well, beside that, that's kind of a pretty big price tag.
Yeah.
yeah, the door contact itself is probably about $15.
That's what I was wondering if we can,
Maybe run the wires and then program the door in. That's kind of, unfortunately, that's pretty standard pricing. I hate to admit it. but-
Gold plated EMT.
Yeah.
Should we
it's,
do a little more further investigation on this too?
What we have to find out is, are they doing a home run all the way back to the panel? And if so, can they break, so they can break
The
it up?
panel's on the other, yeah, but Dave, the panel's on the other side of the wall.
Oh,
Yeah,
then
yeah.
that's ridiculous.
it's all exposed too, Dave.
Okay, then that's, no, that's,
I think most of it's exposed, so.
Then I think we should table this one too. We get some more of an explanation of the cost.
I would
Either
get,
that or maybe, I don't know. Can we do it under a T&M, not to exceed?
I was just thinking, Roy, it's like break it out for a T and M, not to exceed X amount of dollars.
Well, look at the price, 47.35.43. That looks like it's already itemized. I'd like to see what brought that number to 47, whatever.
I'm sure it is. They itemize like no one else. So,
I have it here.
$23, there's materials, there's the security system programming, there's 23 hours of labor to install. That does seem high.
%, 1%.
$550 to program and provide the door contact. The rest of it is all Ferguson.
That seems a little excessive for programming a door.
Well, we can send it back for another look.
Yeah, I think we should.
Okay.
We'll table that one also.
Okay. Number 91.
Yeah, but when you table
So,
something, do you
change order
put,
91 now.
can I ask a question? When you table something, do you put questions there so when we do pick it back up again, we could see if those questions have been answered? Such as, we're questioning his, 23 hours to run this cable. Is that question going to be answered the next time we take this back up again? Tabling it is just kicking the can down the road.
Yeah, the question needs to be is the justification of the cost.
Right. But who puts that together? Is that something?
We'll get questions to Ferguson. I think what they're gonna say is they have to go from the MER room across the lobby that's already finished with wood ceiling and through all the ceilings. So I think they're gonna basically come back and say, this is what the costs are, and then we'll have the same costs and have to deal with what we're gonna do with them. We've gone down this road a lot of times with them. And
Yep. Yep. But hey, Ken, this won't hold you up though, will it? I mean,
the only thing is it's just the intrusion system as a whole.
yeah,
Okay.
That's the only problem with it.
It's
Yeah.
just that it just seems a lot.
Yeah.
yeah, I tend to agree, but we got to move this stuff along.
Okay.
I don't, somehow we
Let's
got to
just-
get it complete.
Let's just vote on it then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Bob and Roy, I just wanted to point out that D'Agostino did review these and they felt that they were also really high, 89 and 90. So
I
they didn't give
know.
specifics as to why they thought they were high, but they just thought they were high.
The problem is, Joe, we're in that awkward spot. We got to get this thing done too.
Right.
And what avenue do we have to bargain with this?
Well, so does the door have a hard key?
No, but it probably has a door contact.
Right.
There's no hard key as a backup if the mag lock should fail?
No, what it is, it's probably just a door contactor. So if the door is opened, it breaks the signal.
Gotcha. Well, I
Why
don't know.
can't we wait 2 more weeks?
Yeah, I was gonna say, because we're so far over budget on Rockwell, if we could save $2,000, that would be a big win.
We're only talking 2 more weeks.
My personal opinion.
I have no problems with that.
All right, we're going to table that one. Also, 89 and 90 are being tabled. Do we have more?
Yes.
You say that with such certainty.
91, change order 91 is to move the cellular dialer for the alarm system. So it was originally located in the main lobby, and the signal there proved to be too weak just to provide adequate backup for the hardline alarm connections. Recommendation was to move it, was either to boost it with an exterior antenna, which we didn't want to do, or move it to a better location in the building that had a better signal. The decision was made to move it to the data closet. And this is about moving the dialer and then providing an additional receptacle in the amount of $2,158.38.
Make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Motion's been made and second. Is there other discussion?
Well,
Yeah.
little point of interest there. Here's $2,000 again. It seems to be his favorite number.
Yeah.
I have a question. Does this have to be a dedicated line?
This is the dialer. This
No,
is
I'm
the,
sorry. I'm sorry,
communicator.
for the electric, I'm sorry, my mistake. For the electric, does this have to be a dedicated outlet? Or could they just tap off of something in the ceiling in that room and just run over and down? That's all I'm asking. Do we know?
I'm not sure. There may be some NFPA ruling on it.
Okay. Because again, that's a lot of money.
$2,000, $2,000.
My contractor comes in and does a home run from the panel through a wall down 200 feet for $1,250.
Yeah.
And he's union.
I'm raising my side job
Yeah.
scale.
Yeah, it shows 8 hours of labor and then $895 for the duplex receptacle.
Okay, no, that's BS. Wrong.
Well, again, it's Ferguson and and as I'm sure the Rizzo team will tell us, there are limits to what you can bargain with them. The costs are the costs a lot of times.
There's no way the materials are costing $895. And not even close to that. You buy a 250 foot roll of BX for $185.
Did they do the same thing at the police station too?
Yes.
Yes.
They're notorious for this. I'll go on record saying it. They did the same thing at the police station.
All right.
But I'd rather have Jim work with them on the main feeders that we have the, the bigger number with, and, I don't know
Agreed.
what else we're gonna do on these smaller ones.
Agreed.
So anyways,
So how do we want to move with this one, folks?
Well, there's a motion on the floor.
motion to pay it.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Bob Geminaro. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Abstained? So
Nay.
All right.
Okay. Two more. At Rockwell, when we abated the floor gym, this was before we were removing full slabs. In the gym, there was significant chipping and grinding of the slab that requires now infill and leveling before they can put the gym floor down, because the gym floor at Rockwell is I think, Joe, it's a poured floor? Or is it?
Rubber floor.
It's a rubber floor that would go directly on the slab. So we need to do some significant leveling work in the gym after abating all the floor surface for PCBs. So this change order is in the amount of $16,138.22. And not that it's any consolation, but we'll be adding it to the environmental total that we are going to the state and looking for that increase in the budget in regards to.
Because we still have 250 left in the Johnson we can carry over on environmental, right?
I think there's $83,000 left at Johnson
Okay.
in the environmental contingency. So yes, in general, we're now sharing funds between the two.
Because this is all related to the PCB, so
Yes,
it makes sense.
yep.
I'll make a motion that we pay that 16,844.
Second.
Motion been made and second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
And then the last one at Rockwell is a similar cleaning proposal for twice a week cleaning. It was supposed to be for October. It's the same dollar amount, $3,780. On the last one, we tabled it pending a confirmation whether it was for October or November, or October and November.
Yeah, I think we should do the same again until we get clarification on both.
I agree.
Okay.
Questions?
I think
Is
that's,
November first cleaning in November going to occur before we meet again?
if,
What was that?
Is the first cleaning in November, or any cleaning in November, going to occur before we meet again?
Well, as Bob pointed out, this is a pretty small company. We would cancel him right away. I wouldn't want there to be any jeopardy of dollars for him. So Ken will call them tomorrow and let them know not to show up.
well, I mean, can we keep it open? I mean, if we're gonna do it for the 2 months, my personal feeling is I don't think that's a bad thing to do. But, for a month, maybe it requires more discussion. But
I think the notes on the Johnson School proposal answered our question about whether it's for 1 month or 2 months. If you could go back to those, Geraldine.
Well, yes, even on this one, there is a calculation at the bottom, similar to the Johnson one, where they have 6 people, or the crew, 6 hours, 6 Yeah, six full-time equivalent, hours. So each visit is $450, 2 visits per week, $900 a week, 4 weeks equals the $3,600. And then the rest of it is Rizzo markup. So clearly this is only providing
Month.
8 visits.
1 month.
Yeah.
Bob, isn't your staff pretty much doing the same thing, or is this a double do or no?
Yeah, but it's you can't do both. It can't be done.
This is
And that's a very good price, by the way, too. That's not unreasonable.
That's all I need to hear from you. Thank you.
Yeah, because I'm using a company right now that's a little bit more than that.
Okay. Good to know.
So what has he done to date, though? I mean, what, have we done anything in October?
He came twice.
So we're still gonna get billed for those, for the 2 times, right?
And that was a response to the initial COVID case. At
Yeah. So, I mean, if that's the case, we still owe them money to start with, and maybe we should just do it for a month for each one of the schools and then see where it goes.
Mhm.
So we get 2 more times out of it.
Just a point of interest, if these people go away on us, you're not going to get another company. Right now, everyone is booked for,
Yeah.
everybody's trying to look for a cleaning company.
So you're
mean,
saying it might be worth, just in case something goes sideways, to have them stay around?
Right, you should
Yeah.
keep and this company is very responsive too. I mean,
That's why
I
think
got to know these guys.
I think you got to work with them if possible.
All right, if you think it's cheap insurance, Bob, then I'll go with what you think.
I do, you know why? Because if they go away, you're not going to find another company that knows the building, knows the conditions, knows the layout. It's a small price.
Okay, I'm in.
Okay.
So if we want to reverse what we said, we're gonna have to take we could lump both of the, for example, change order number 90 for Johnson School and change order number 94 for cold and cleaning at Rockwell School. Each school in the amount of $3,780. $780.00.
Yeah, I would second that.
Okay, and to clarify, if they've come, so each of these change orders involve 8 visits by the cleaning crews, right? 2 per week for 4 weeks. If they've only come twice so far, and it's October 27th, then what we're buying are 6 more visits into November. However long that
Right.
takes, it continues to be twice a week
For school.
per school, right?
And hopefully by that time, the interior work of the school should be completed. Yes, no? I hope.
Everything but the gyms, yes.
Then that's cheap insurance.
Yep. I think
All right.
that's,
I agree.
Roy made a motion to accept change order number 90 for Johnson School in the amount of $3,780 and change order number 94 for Rockwell School, again, for the amount of $3,780. There's been a motion made in second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
I,
Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
All right, and so those are the construction PCOs. We have a couple of requests for additional technology scope. One of them is this proposal from ESC. This is a request from the IT folks. It is to provide a device called a Novo Pro, 13 of them. There are 13 visual display boards at Rockwell that were existing boards reinstalled that do not have the capability to fully utilize the remote learning capabilities of the new boards. So for a cost of $4,725, or I'm sorry, for $13,658.20, we buy 13 of these devices that ESC then installs to 13 of the boards, and the teachers are then able to stream from a multitude of devices, from their computer, from their laptop, from their iPad, whatever they have, in conducting the remote learning portions of and the streaming portions of in-house learning. So this will bring 13 of the existing visual display boards up to the same capability as all of the new visual display boards. And I believe originally this was not anticipated as a cost control measure. We were reusing some of the existing boards with no upgrade. And as they've now moved to some combination of remote and in-house learning, IT asked if we could upgrade these 13 boards. And there was some, obviously, early on, we had come in under budget on technology. So they're asking for this additional money to outfit these boards at Rockwell.
Would this also be possibly reimbursable by the COVID funds? Because this is.
No, I don't know if Terry's still on. Is Terry still online?
Terry?
Terry, so she could explain it. She could explain it better than I could. Because this is ongoing instructional support needs, it's not reimbursable. It will be reimbursable in terms of our project because we're going to load it onto the technology section. We can't break it out and try to attribute it to a COVID need because these sort of things are not being paid for by the state.
All right. I'd like to make a motion. What change order number is this, Joe?
It's not. It doesn't have a change order number because it's a technology item. It is an additional cost, additional quote from ESC in the amount of $13,658.20.
I'd like to make that motion that we approve this.
I'll second that.
Dave Olson seconded. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
And then we have a couple of additional requests for additional phones. This one is for Rockwell. The phones are existing. We are reusing phones that the district already owns, but it is to install 4 additional phones in 3 different rooms. They either have had in 2 of the rooms, they have an additional desk, an additional person located in the room, and we're trying to avoid the sharing of phones. In one, the wall phone is just located in an unfortunate place. This is a change order from Connecticut Communications in the amount of $540. It is $480 to install and reprogram these 4 phones, and then $60 worth of cables that are required to connect them. So as I said, the phone devices themselves are already owned by the district. We're reusing phones. But this was a request again of staff. We worked through with Terry Yansky's office to make sure that these were legitimate requests, and the district is in support of adding these 4 phones at Rockwell.
So we'll make a motion.
I'll make the motion to approve this.
Dave Olson, you want a second? Is there further discussion for amount of $540? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried. That was easy.
And at, sorry, wrong one. At Johnson, these actually have already been installed, so it came to us in the form of an invoice. But one additional reception desk phone was requested because the original setup had 2 people sharing a phone, and the staff asked to have separate phones due to the whole COVID exposure issue. So this is an additional reception style phone, so a lot of buttons, the programming, the cabling, and it is in the amount of $1,084. Again, we vetted it through the district offices, and they are in support of this additional cost.
And this will also be reimbursable, right, under technology?
Also will be reimbursable, yep. We're just adding to the technology devices package at this point.
Make a motion that we approve that.
Motion's been made second by Dave Olson. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
And that's it for additional approvals.
That's enough. Just an update on the Rockwell Boiler Room project. Malcolm Beal, he sent me today, late today, some clarification on some drawings for dimensions, and our friend Ken is taking care of that for us. So he's working on that. That's the only thing he's waiting for, some dimensions. So we're going to have to wait for his report for next meeting. So that's where that stands.
Okay.
Professional services request.
So there were some additional requests made this month based on additional scope requested. Again, I wish Christine was on because she had some thoughts on this issue. I think she circulated an email today. There are a number of things at Johnson School. We were requested to look into the possibility of adding a second refrigerator in the faculty dining room. This would require additional electrical outlet to accommodate it. And at Johnson and Rockwell, we've been asked to look at adding washer and dryer setups in each school's custodial or kitchen area. This was a condition that existed previous to the renovation, but washer and dryers were not included in the planning of the renovated space. And so again, to add washer and dryers, there's electrical and plumbing work that needs to be done. These additional services proposals are not for the work itself to install these things, but for Perkins Eastman and their engineers to provide the specifications and the engineered drawings to add these, power and potentially plumbing for these appliances. Where do I start? Let's see. To do the design work for the refrigerator at Johnson School, proposal in the amount of $1,400. Now, I know from talking to Christine, and if you saw her email from earlier today, she's not in support of this. She has talked with the principal and feels that they don't need another refrigerator if it's going to be $1,400 worth of design work, potentially, who knows what, for Ferguson to install the outlet for that refrigerator, and then we still have to buy the refrigerator. So she's I believe not in support of spending this additional money or providing that refrigerator.
And my feeling, if the administration doesn't see a need for it, then we should just
Then
move
why
on.
do it?
All right.
On the other hand, the washer and dryer issues at both Johnson and Rockwell, again, this is Johnson. The proposed professional services ad is $3,200. Again, then we're going to have, the electrician and the plumber provide those hookups and then buy the washer and dryer. So I'm not sure where this scope ends up, probably at, $8,000 or $9,000 all in.
There's also mechanical work too for the washer, for the dryer.
The dryer.
Yep, inventing for the dryer. So maybe higher than that. But I do understand from Bob, particularly, we need these appliances are needed at each school.
Yeah, that's how I washed the mops. That's how we washed the kitchen cloths and rags that they use. It's a number of things we use with that.
Is it commercial grade appliances? Are they residential grade? What is that?
I just use basic residential.
Okay, so you're not looking at huge numbers for that aspect.
Oh, no.
I
Is
make
this
a
something that was
motion.
overlooked in the design or just,
It was never it wasn't included in the ed spec, and I don't recall it being brought up during design.
I guess we just kind of assumed it was going to be put in. It was because it was one there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make a motion, keep this thing moving to, we need it, so let's have Joe design it. On both.
Thank
of
you.
them.
I appreciate it. I'd rather it not be haphazardly thrown in later on. I'd
Yeah.
rather it be done right.
And now is the time to do it.
okay, there's a motion made by Roy, second by
David,
David, to approve the Perkins Eastman, in the amount of $3,200 for the design work of the washer and dryer hookup and so forth. Any other questions? Okay, moving the motion.
Hold
All
on,
those
are
in
you
favor?
gonna do, are you doing both schools at the same time? Because they're both,
And I'm looking at this, it says both Johnson and Rockwell. Joe, are these both the same amount, $3,200 for each one?
Yes, both are
Okay.
the same. Did I mess up in?
So you're talking $6,400.
Yeah, it's
Right.
3,200 per school.
But
So can we
that's,
make this
that was
one
what my
motion?
motion was. I understood it with two of them.
Okay.
Okay, so can we revise the motion to say that $3,200 for each school for a total of $6,400?
That would be good.
That work, Kath?
yep,
All right. And who seconded that?
David,
David, you have no problem with that either? You're good?
sure.
All right. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Abstained? So carried.
And the last one was for the retaining wall. So a number of meetings ago, there was a request to look at providing a change in, this is at Johnson. So a revision to the grading from the access road down to the softball field, which required a retaining wall to be built behind the dumpster pad, as you can see in this diagram. So the request was made, Malone and McBroom produced this sketch for free, basically. But on the construction side, they said that there was not enough information here for them to actually put a price on the grading changes that were requested. And so to go back and get this engineered in a way that the construction team can actually use the information for pricing and for construction, we would need some additional design time from Malone and McBroom, and their proposal is in the amount of $4,000.
And again, when we were, Rich and myself and Dan from Malone, we took a look at that. We looked at the Rockwell area. We also looked at that, and behind the retaining wall, the dumpster, it's extremely steep, and there's going to need some type of retaining wall there. I think we're going to have problems if we don't. One is going to be the maintenance and mowing of it. So I think this is pretty important.
Could you zoom in a little bit? I just want to see the difference. Thank you.
Yeah, you can see where they're,
Well, so I just want to make sure that we don't need a fence on the backside, on that retaining wall as well, so somebody doesn't step off and.
Well, behind the dumpster pad, that's going to be, my understanding, the dumpster itself, there's going to be a fence around that.
Yeah, look, it's in the drawing.
yes.
It's in the
there's a
drawing.
fence here. with-
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's just in the dumpster pad. What about to the right of the dumpster pad as you're looking at it? Is that a possible fall hazard? Like,
Looks like
I
it-
don't know we don't know the height of that wall there yet. That's the whole, I mean, I don't know. I can't
if
tell.
you look at the grading lines, it's 2 feet.
yeah, 2 feet wouldn't require a guard. It's
Okay.
30 inches or more.
Okay, good, perfect.
And
Thank-
and there is a guard rail, which isn't that guard height, but
Yep.
Oh, right here, yeah,
yeah.
along the road.
Yeah,
So
just
tech-
trying to cover everybody's butt on this one.
Right, so technically per the code, it's a 30-inch drop adjacent to a walking surface. So
Okay. Thank you, Joe.
you're welcome.
I'd like to make the motion that we approve the amount of $4,000 for the design.
Tucker?
Motion's been made second. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
And one other comment on this, we're gonna actually have them look at, instead of doing a cast in place concrete wall, to see if they could do a segmental wall instead, which would be a little bit more
Yeah,
aesthetic.
he talked about that.
Okay, good.
Might be the cheapest way of doing it. We're
And,
not
yeah,
looking for
and
any,
it'd probably be more affordable too.
right, and we're not looking for any design brick or nothing, or fascia brick on that at all.
Right. So yeah, cast in place is gonna be pretty harsh. And
Right.
Good.
so we'll have them look at segmental as well.
Hey,
Right.
Joe? Hey,
Yes.
Joe, can you also look at, possibly, if you have to move it a couple feet away so that we don't destroy the existing dumpster pad?
Yep.
Being so close, it looks like we're gonna wipe out that whole pad.
Yeah, when I was out on Friday with Joe Costa, and we said the same exact thing, that would move it away so that the pad can stay.
And stay there. Good.
You have to, because you can't form the concrete wall.
Yeah,
That-
Right.
well,
Yeah.
Otherwise we'll wipe out the whole thing.
Right, and we'd have to underpin and yeah, we're gonna have them move it away and adjust the grading as well.
Okay, good.
Hey, Ken or Jim, one of the other things that we talked about that day, going back to Rockwell on the front bank by the parking lot, there's the man drains, the manhole that sticks out about 1.5 feet. And also there's a whole row of rock in there, which is going to cause a real problem for mowing where the silt fence was. Can those rocks get removed? I think Dan said that they were supposed to come out.
They're gonna come out. He just
Okay,
was trying to hurry up and finish planting.
right.
or
Okay, and what
it's too
about
late.
the two manholes that stick up about 1 foot out of the ground there? I mean, there's a catch basin that, unless we're gonna have a 5 million year flood, it's not gonna catch anything.
They'll be putting some more of that topsoil around to dress those off.
Yeah, so I'm just thinking for the mowing purposes, it'd be a lot easier for those guys. All right. Does anybody else have any questions before we get into payment on the two schools? Comments, questions? Speak now, forever hold your peace for 2 weeks. All right. Rizzo, application for payment number 19.
No, we don't have that. That's,
Okay, we'll move on.
we have 4 invoices from Perkins Eastman, 2 from IES and 2 from STV.
All right.
So, John, how would you like to, what order would you?
What order you want? I don't have copies, Carolyn, so.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, we'll start with IES. Their invoice number 15170 for the month of August, commissioning services at Johnson School in the amount of $8,986.25.
Motion to approve?
Second,
Motion's been made and seconded. If there's any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor? Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
And IES for commissioning services for the month of August at Rockwell School, invoice number 15169 in the amount of $1,296.75.
Motion to approve?
Dave also made a motion. Have a second?
Second.
Second? Are there any questions? Hearing none. All those in favor? Say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
Perkins Eastman. Oops, that's not the one I want. Perkins Eastman for construction administration services at Johnson School, invoice number 32 for services in the month of September in the amount of $7,687.83.
Motion to approve.
Dave Olson made a
Second.
motion to approve. Is there a
Second.
Bob Geminaro, second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
And Perkins Eastman for FF&E and playground coordination services. Invoice number 14 for services during the month of September in the amount of $5,149.87.
Motion to approve.
Motion's been made. Is there a second?
Second.
Bob Geminaro, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
Perkins Eastman Instruction Administration Services at Rockwell School for the month of September, invoice number 32 in the amount of $4,614.02.
Do I hear a
to
motion?
approve.
Dave Olson made a motion to accept. Second,
I'll second it.
Bob Geminaro. Is there discussion on the motion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
And Perkins Eastman for furniture and playground coordination services, invoice number,
Oh,
that
one.
can't be right. It must be, it is also invoice number 14 for Rockwell School for services during the month of September.
Geraldine, this one is for the
Oh, I'm sorry. no wonder I-
fence.
It's the fence, sorry, it's a fence revision. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Well, we're missing a furniture one then. Never mind. Okay, so it is invoice number 6,861.04.0-1. These are the additional services to design the fence revision at the bocce courts at Rockwell. $997.50.
Motion to approve.
Motion's been
Second.
made. Is there a second? Bob
I'll
Geminaro,
second
second.
it.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, say by aye.
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 Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
Geraldine, which
I'm
furniture
missing,
one did you not receive?
I think it's Rockwell.
Rockwell. Okay. And yeah, and I just sent you an email. We're looking, our August invoices never got sent out. I'm not sure
That's
why.
correct. I know. I think we mentioned that once before. We were missing.
Yeah.
it.
So I'm working with accounting to figure out what happened.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe, don't worry about it. Just really, not a problem.
Thanks, John.
I'm just trying to help you out, man.
All right. STV's invoice for the Johnson School for services during August, invoice number 90018-310 in the amount of $25,376.
Do I hear a motion to accept?
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Approve. Second,
Second.
Bob? Any discussion on this? Hearing none, all those in favor say by aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
And STV invoice for services in August at Rockwell School. These are the important ones. These were for furniture and moves and everything. Invoice number 90018-311 in the amount of $15,218.
Motion to approve.
Mo-
Dave
I'll
Olson, did a
second.
motion? Motion's been
I'll
made.
second that.
Is there any discussion? Is this, will this be it for the furniture moving?
Well, moves are complete, so there will
Right.
be no more move-related invoices either for movers or for our time, but obviously there is still furniture to be delivered for
Right.
the areas of the school not yet constructed, so there'll probably be a couple more furniture deliveries. They're pretty straightforward at this point.
All right. Is there any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Sorry.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
And then we have 4 invoices from Insalco, one of the furniture vendors. They send the invoices obviously as they deliver the furniture, so they make no sense.
Can we lump them together, the 4? Or, I mean,
We can.
Rockwell's and Johnson's together?
Yeah, I didn't really list them out separately, so it might just be quicker at this point.
Right,
We
okay.
reviewed all 4 invoices. My team who were there on the days that the furniture was delivered, all of this furniture does exist on site, was delivered. And nothing has a major punch list issue. All the punch list issues for this vendor are fairly minor. One pedestal needed casters put on it. The shelving in the media center at Rockwell needs to be reviewed again to make sure it's all properly connected to the wall, but there's nothing in any of these invoices that would prevent us from recommending a full payment at this point.
And this money is already encumbered in our budget.
It is,
Okay.
it is.
Recommend approval of all 4 invoices from Insalco.
Okay,
No, you can't do that. It'll be hard for finance. Just do them separately. It's much easier.
They'll have to go one at a time, Dave.
all right. So
Finance, go nuts.
this one is for Rockwell. It's invoice 9028, dated September 10th in the amount of $69,663.13.
Motion to approve.
I'll second that. Motion been made and second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
Invoice 9027 for Johnson School, also dated September 10th in the amount of $911.20.
Motion to approve.
I'll second. Motion made and seconded. Is discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
Invoice 9026 for Johnson School, dated September 10th in the amount of $21,350.38.
Motion to approve.
I'll
Second.
second. Motion been made and second. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
And finally, invoice 9025 for Johnson School, dated September 10th in the amount of
97.
$97,543.91.
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Roy. Is there a discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? So carried.
And that's all we have.
So before we move on, is there any other questions for our friends dealing with the school project at this point in time?
I have one request. For the additional services for the washer dryers and the retaining wall, can you have Nancy send us a notice to proceed through email?
Kathy, you can talk to her. Yeah, Geraldine.
Yeah,
I know Nancy's,
yeah.
she's tied up tonight with her voter registration thing. It's a mandatory night for them.
Right.
But I know she'll be involved. She'll probably be catching up tomorrow to pick up this information. So yes, we'll get that taken care of.
Thank you.
Anything else? If not, thank you, our school friends. We're finished for tonight for them.
Good night.
Thank you.
Night.
Good night, everybody.
Thanks a lot.
See you later, guys.
All right.
All right, police station project update. Unfortunately, I don't know where we're standing. I know that the engineering firm, I'm not really sure where the progress in that. Roy, do you know anything about this?
No, I haven't. I've just been seeing what you've been seeing on the email. That's it. So
I really don't think there's much update really to go over. I'm not gonna try to, guess at anything because I really don't know. So we're gonna have to wait until the next meeting. I know there's a hurry to get this work done before the weather gets too bad. So I don't know what's gonna happen at this time.
We're approaching too late process now. It's supposed to snow
It
by.
might be, yeah. And then obviously there's nothing else with the municipal center at this time. So other than that, anybody have anything else?
no. Thank you for running the meeting, John.
Oh, yeah, the pleasure's been all yours. Do I hear a motion for adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I make that a motion.
All right, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
Good.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, guys. Yep. Bye-bye.
Take care.